this industry's so broken. You got it, girl. Like, you know.
Okay, do we go again?
Can we begin with your experience doing live comedy?
I didn't come up in the comedy space. The closest thing I had come to a comedy background was having nieces and nephews I like to do funny voices for. And actually, in playing Gilda, discovered that a lot of those goofy voices I do that are kind of Monty Python inspired are very similar to hers, and actually she loved Monty Python too.
Mr. Fader, you sound like a real attractive guy.
Gilda kind of was my teacher. Through her, I have learned a lot about this space, but I have so much respect for the courage it takes to be a comedian. It's kind of terrifying doing comedy.
It is, but once you get used to it, it becomes who you are. You know what I mean? Being silly, being not afraid to be bad. You know what I mean?
There were so many times on set where I would turn to Lamorne and be like, Lamorne, you got any funny ideas?
Oh, is this nonstop? This was my first comedy, but the thing that I sort of employed early on, I was like a forensic scientist, you know, just like, I could read it and I'm like, okay, I know how I would say these jokes or these lines as Cory, but I need to study Chevy enough that I feel like his instincts are in my brain. I mean, I spent hundreds of hours watching this man.
Your ability to improvise as Chevy was actually disquieting.
Jesus Christ. Sorry, tripped over my penis.
You're playing Dan Aykroyd, of course. You're not impersonating him. You're capturing a vibe, right?
So confirmed.
I mean, would you?
You're not impersonating him.
No. Yeah. I think you're nailing. I mean,
thanks.
There's an SNL impersonation, yeah.
Sure.
But I read what Jason was saying about trying to capture the spirit of them. But you're doing Dan, and then you're doing the characters Dan made popular. So you have to filter those through an impression. What is that process like? Is that even that much harder to nail? Oh yeah, because you're not doing your version of Julia Childs, you're doing his version.
Right, totally. No, those were, I feel like, the parts I was less stressed about. And then whenever I was like, oh wait, this is just him. I'm just him in this scene. Now I'm like, whenever we have our scenes where we're I guess where I'm outside of a sketch is where you're referring to. Yes. I would then be like, oh my God, who the is this guy? and then just winging it.
Oh, I think I'm going to go to sleep now. Bon appetit.
For your characters, what I was struck by is, working with creative iconoclasts. People believe so deeply in what they're doing that they'll just kind of go to any length for it. Were you able to connect with that aspect of your character? Is that something you admire?
Oh my God, both of those things. I think there's just so much heart in charging forward despite everything going wrong and just being so determined to pull it together because it's what you have to do. Gentlemen, how long have you been standing there?
Long enough.
I think I really relate to making stuff with your friends and sort of feeling I think if I just think about from when I first came into the industry, it was COVID, then it was the strike, and there's been a lot of change, and I think sometimes it can get it can be intimidating or make you feel really down, oh my God, what can we do? You know what I mean? And so I think what's inspiring about the movie and I try to remember is if you have something you believe in and you have other people who are either making it with you or it's you're making something, your friend is making something over there, but you check in and you're we're doing this, let's go. I think that's I have that with a lot of my friends where I feel it's sometimes we're this industry's so broken. You got it, girl. And I think that's really, I love that.
There's a moment in the movie where we recreate this construction workers sketch. I love this sketch. It was the thing when I read the script, I was most and I thought that it might be the moment in the movie where I could do a little nod to Roseanne.
Dear Rosanna Dana.
And I presented my Roseanne to my dialect coach, and she was like, Ella, you sound like a Spanish man. So I went with what Jason had suggested I do, because he's the director, and I did this brassy Brooklyn man's voice, and had the best time doing it.
Such a good scene.
Comedy is simultaneously tender and nasty.
Yes.
The idea that Gilda Radner coexists with Chevy Chase, John Belushi, Andy Kaufman, Billy Crystal, Michael O'Donoghue. I mean, like, there's just a range of comedy that, comedy pokes you in different ways. What I found extraordinary was that Lorne Michaels, without being able to articulate it, had this sense of how this all fit together in one show. Nothing like it existed before. That's something that we're trying to show in the movie, is that in the decades leading up, comedy was kind of the same thing. It was this evolution of vaudeville and radio, kind of a hammy style of comedy.
Take My Wife, please.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the Woodstock moment. This is like Easy Rider. And it's the moment where television changed forever.